Hey.
We'll give it a second for some folks to come in. Hopefully you guys had a phenomenal day today and that you're using the steps and tools that Keandra has given you. We are taking over the live today.
So get ready.
Hey, Pearl. How you doing?
Hey, Pearl. Long time.
Hey, y'all.
Thank you for joining. Look at everybody.
Come on in. We are taking over this live. We're hijacking
It's ours. She tried to set us up, but she got set up.
So welcome back to 19 days and the countdown to 2019. My name is Felicia Marshall. I am the accountability and support coach with the B.O.M Mentoring group. And this is?
My name is Nellie. I am the health and wellness coach for the B.O.M Mentoring group.
Yes. So we're taking over this live to bring you day 15. We're on day 15. Can you believe
day 15. It? Already.
This year is almost over, but there's still so much to do and so much that can be accomplished. So I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm super excited.
I know
ready.
2019 is going to be explosive. I already know. I can already feel it. So today's phrase that we're going to say is go back to.
Go back to what? I wonder who has an idea as to what we mean by go back to. Comment. Let us know what you think it is. We'll give you like a few seconds. Go back to what?
Going back to Cali. That's not it, though. That's not it.
Not Cali.
Going back to. So our focus for day 15 is to complete the phrase, go back to. What is it that you think we're going to say?
See if anybody answers. If not, we'll go.
We'll give you some time. Play the Jeopardy music. Go back to.
No. Man, we could be silly.
What are we going back to? For those just joining, we are doing the welcome back to the 19 days to 2019. We are on day 15. Can't believe it. Day 15. And the topic or the phrase that we're trying to complete or get you guys to guess is go back to ... What are we going to say?
Go back to.
Go back to.
Very interesting because you could go back to a lot of things. Some things you don't want to go back to.
Yeah, some things you don't need to go back to. But what do you need to, what should you go back to? You're still, hi Stephen, hi Anthony, Tammy. Welcome. Oh, we got another one.
Yes.
Hey. Hello, welcome for those just joining again. We are talking about our countdown to 2019. And so we're on day 15. And so we're trying to get you guys to guess what the end of the phrase is for go back to. ... Yeah.
I'm excited about this one.
Yes. And this is applicable in business and in life in general. Go back to.
Anyone wants to take a guess? I want somebody to take a guess.
One person to take a guess?
Go back to.
Finish the phrase.
I think we'll answer it for them.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Stephen.
Oh, there we go.
Being your true you.
I like that. That's always good. But that's not it.
Nope.
That's always good. Being authentic is needed.
Necessary.
Yeah. It's needed. It's necessary. Can't be successful without it.
One more person. Who would like to answer the phrase, go back to ...
Stephen said, being your true you.
Ready to answer?
Yeah, I think we should answer.
All right.
So,
you go.
Go back to the last thing that God told you to do.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing. Can you think of the last thing that God told you to do that is sitting idle, that you haven't completed? Can you go back to the last thing that God told you to do? I know I've got some things that I need to go back to that God told me to do that I have not completed yet, but that I will before this year is out.
Yes, you will.
Go back to. Yes. Oh, Keandra. Hey, Keandra.
Hi, Keandra.
How's it like being on the other side?
We took over.
So as creatives, you are always going to come up with ideas. You're always going to think of new ways of doing things, especially in your business, just in general. But what you want to avoid is having what they call in business is the shiny object syndrome. See, you don't want to get distracted like that. You see how we just got distracted? As a creative, you're always going to come up with new ideas. You're always going to have things that come up as you are planning, because as a creative, that is what happens naturally as you are coming up with these great programs and solutions and services for people, for these great book ideas. You'll get probably three. I know I get like 3 or 4 ideas while I'm working on a project. So we have something that we use here at the B.O.M Mentoring Group when we do our trainings, our workshops. We have what we call a parking lot.
Yes.
And it essentially is a separate piece of paper that as the ideas come up, as the questions even come up, we take the time to write out those ideas so that you're not distracted, you're not delayed in completing the task that your hands have been set before you. Mm-hmm. So it's very important that you really take the time to think about what God told you last. Go back to what God has already equipped you to do before you pick up another thing, before you attend another workshop, before you take another class. Take the time to think about what He last told you to do.
And that's very good, because to be honest, like with me, with my own experience, talk to Keandra a lot. And a lot of ideas, health and wellness, fitness has been a lifetime for me. Mm-hmm. Only God knows the reason why. But at the end of the day, I would come to Keandra, hey, I got this idea. I got this idea. I got this idea. She's like, you could do that, but not now. Write it down, save it for later, and focus and master that one thing that will prepare you for those other ideas to be introduced.
Yeah, so you want to avoid that shiny object syndrome or shiny idea syndrome of think of things that may not even be in your lane. You got to be careful as a creative, because sometimes those additional ideas may not be for this season. You know, so you got to be prayerful about those things as they come up. But I know what I'm supposed to do in this season. It's like the purpose that follows you. Yeah. It's the one that you see when you're sitting in random places and all of a sudden you hear that voice, or you see something that reminds you of that thing that He told you to do. Those things that He's put your hands to do is a part of your purpose and what you are called to do. So go back to what He told you to do and complete that task before you move on to the next thing.
And you know what? In thinking about it as well, with those ideas, at least I could speak for myself. A lot of the times, those ideas may come just a way of distracting us from actually doing what we're supposed to do, because we could have a great idea, but it may not really be what we're called to do. We may still be dealing with kind of fear of actually doing what we're supposed to do. So we try to look for another way out. Mm-hmm. And that's why writing it down helps out.
It does. So tell me, you guys, what stops you from going back to doing the last thing that God told you to do and doing it to the fullest, doing it to completion?
That's good.
Can we get some feedback from you guys as to what you feel stops you from completing the task that God has put your hands to do? For me, at times it could be fear. Fear is something that can get in the way. Anybody else can share or feel free to share what has gotten in the way of you going back to what God has told you to do?
I know for me, it was not thinking, the thought of not knowing enough, which is a lie.
That is a lie. Yeah.
God gives us what we are to deliver. So
yeah, you're already equipped. You already have what it takes.
Yeah.
And you may take a class here and there to strengthen those skill sets. But you have what you need to complete the task, especially if it's a task that God is giving you to do. And so this is not something you're trying to do out of your own flesh, but it's something that He has divinely equipped you to accomplish. Mm-hmm. And we know He says in His word, you know, that which He has assigned to send will not return void. What He has called.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. So anybody, any ideas? And for those that just joined, we are talking about day 15 for the countdown to 2019. And our phrase was go back to. So, and it was go back to the last thing that God told you to do. And so what we've asked is that if anyone could share, what is it that has stopped or delayed you from going back to the last thing that God told you to do? And not just write down, not just think about, but to actually do. Hi, Jason. Hi, Aisha. Welcome. Hey, Myron.
Carmelita.
Yeah.
We see y'all.
Mm-hmm. We see you coming through.
Comment down below. Let us know.
Below. Yeah, the last thing.
Because it could be exciting. It could play two ways when it comes to being a creative. So many ideas, so many things that we can do and have the ability to do. But sometimes we have to ask ourselves, are we called to do it? In the meantime, let the tip. Write it down, park it somewhere, and go back to it later, but focus on what needs to be done right now.
And I would say as you're writing it down, it's good if you assign a notebook that you can use to collect all of these ideas so they're not scattered. And it'll be easy for you to go back to and develop that idea or decide, hey, maybe that wasn't such a great idea. Let me see what else can come from that. But choose an area where you can keep those things. Just like I would even recommend for the idea that you're going back to, as far as the last thing that God told you, create a special notebook or a special area, whether you have a binder, to collect what you need to do and start to write down the steps of what it takes for you to get there. And I would say, even as she said in one of the days, she said, watch your mouth about what it is, right? That in terms of how you speak about that thing that God has assigned for you to do. Sometimes we run away from it. But have a special notebook or file on your computer, since we're in the technology age where a lot of things are digital. And set aside those things that you're supposed to do. Write down in detail the steps that it will take to accomplish it. If you feel there's obstacles standing in your way, write it down so at least you know what it is, and begin to see, is this a real obstacle or is this in my head? You know, is this something that I can do something about? Chances are He will have provision for you for whatever it is that He has assigned for you to do. So write that thing out and begin to cast down anything that is speaking against it. You know?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Another way to do it when you have ideas or want to start something new, again, going back to, it could possibly be a distraction for you. You looking for a way out in order not to focus on what you need to get done. I know I've tried it in the past. It got to the point where I am a personal trainer as well, a certified personal trainer. And there was a time where it took so long for me to get there that I was looking for other things. I almost gave up, but God pulled me and was like, no, you got to finish this. And until I finished that one thing which was this year, I got certified. Other opportunities, other ideas, and some ideas dropped off, and other ideas that I did park it, whether it was on a recording or on a paper, now it makes sense that I am certified, that I am a licensed massage therapist, because it brings it together. It wasn't meant to be separate per se.
Yeah. And sometimes some things that get in our way is the fear of not knowing what will happen when we make that leap to do that thing, because chances are the thing that God is telling you to go back to, the thing that you go back to that he's told you, chances are you're probably thinking, I don't know if I can do this, right?
Yes,
it's usually a stretch.
That's a big one.
It's usually a stretch for you. It's not usually a comfortable place. It's a place that causes you to grow. You know, growing your faith, growing your confidence, and it shows who you really trust to complete this task. So if it's an assignment that God has given you to complete, then it's one that he wants you to trust him in completing, because he is the one that will help you to complete the task at hand. So
got it.
Yeah. So again, for those that are just joining us, we're on day 15 of the countdown to 2019. We plan to make these last few weeks the most impactful, the most productive weeks that we have. And tune in, because each day, Keandra and the team will be sharing different tips of what to do and things to focus on for each day as we journey to the end of this year. There's still lots of time to do a lot of impact and a lot of work. So let's complete the task, go back to what God has said, and make sure that we're completing that task so that we are ready when it's go time.
And remember, the way to go back to it is park your ideas, park whatever other things that are trying to get away of that focus aside on a piece of paper or on a recording, but get to work, because 2019 is around the corner.
Yes.
So let's go back.
Let's go. No shiny object syndrome.
Squirrel.
Yes. Let's stay focused. Let's get focused and remain focused through this year and beyond. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
All right.
Bye.
Good night.
Night.